You come into this world on a wind-swept patch of ice, slick and bright, where the sea exhales mist into the air. You are a seal pup, just minutes old, and already the Arctic wind tries to snatch away your warmth. Your body is soft, your whiskers quiver at the smallest touch, and your large eyes blink into a world where danger is everywhere. Above you, gulls circle, ready to strike if they sense weakness. Beyond the edges of your icy cradle, polar bears and foxes sniff out the scent of new life. You do not know this yet, but your mother's milk is the only thing standing between you and the cold, empty hunger. Even before you can walk, the fight to stay alive has begun. This is the first truth of being a seal. The world never gives you a free meal, only a chance to earn it. For the first few days, your world is a warm patch against your mother's thick body. She smells of salt and old fish. She does not coo or sing. She watches the horizon while you nuzzle and drink. Her milk is impossibly rich, filled with more fat than any cows or goats could ever dream of, and each sip turns you from a trembling lump of fur into a chubby, solid little creature. In these first weeks, you cannot swim. Instead, you inch forward on the ice like an awkward caterpillar, using your belly and stubby flippers. Crawling seems simple, but every move is practice for survival. One day, you will slip into freezing water and be expected to swim without hesitation. Your senses sharpen quickly. Your whiskers become tools for reading the world, able to detect tiny movements of fish beneath the waves. You start recognizing the scent of your mother's fur among hundreds of seals crowded together, a skill that keeps you from getting lost in the chaos. There are threats everywhere. Arctic foxes lurk close, bold enough to dash in if your mother turns away. Big gulls swoop overhead, ready to peck at your eyes if they catch you alone. Hunger is an invisible predator too. Your belly demands constant feeding, and when your mother leaves to hunt, you are left shivering, waiting, praying she comes back before you starve. You practice calling to her, a loud bleating cry that could carry across the ice floes. It is a risky sound because it may attract both mother and predator, but you learn that life for a seal pup is a gamble from the very beginning. Slowly, your fat layer thickens, your fur puffs out like snow, and the ice beneath you no longer feels like a death sentence. The world is still dangerous, but you are starting to feel something new. The first fragile shape of confidence. Your first taste of real food does not come from your own hunt. Instead, it comes when your mother decides you are ready for a lesson. By now, weeks have passed. The snow around you is marked by hundreds of seal pups, but the time of lying helpless on the ice is ending. The sea is calling. On a bright, cold morning, she nudges you toward a small gap in the ice, a dark hole where the water moves restlessly. You hesitate. Everything about the air smells of salt and risk. She dives in first and then looks back, waiting. You slide forward, clumsy, heart-thudding, and finally, you plunge. The cold hits you like a punch. Your lungs tighten, but instinct takes over. You hold your breath, and your small body remembers how to move. Suddenly you are flying underwater, faster than you ever imagined possible. She shows you how to hunt. The first prey is not a big fish, but a school of tiny silver fish called capelin. They move like quicksilver, flashing in every direction. Your eyes, which see poorly on land, sharpen under the waves. Your whiskers vibrate. Detecting the faint currents left by every swimming body, you lunge clumsily, you miss. You lunge again, and this time your teeth close on a single, wriggling fish. It fights, but not for long. You swallow it whole, and something ancient wakes inside you. The fish slides down into your stomach, where a flood of powerful acids and enzymes break it apart. Your stomach works like a furnace. Fats are burned for energy, proteins broken into pieces that will build muscles, and every drop of that fish becomes fuel for survival. Hunting turns out to be less about teeth and more about timing. You watch your mother's graceful dives and try to copy her. She barely moves, conserving energy. And then at the perfect moment, strikes like lightning. When you finally break the surface, gulping air, you realize that for the first time, you fed yourself. The taste of fish lingers in your mouth, and with it comes a strange pride. The sea no longer feels like a trap, feels like the beginning of everything you were meant to be. Your belly is full. Your mind is buzzing. And though you are still small, you feel like a creature reborn. The weeks blur into months. Every dive makes you stronger. Every meal adds another soft layer of blubber under your skin. That blubber is not just fat. It is your armor against cold, your life jacket when you swim, and later. Your bank account for the lean times when the fish disappear. Your white baby fur starts to loosen. One day you notice tufts of it floating around you in the water. You are molting. The soft, fluffy coat that made you look like a snowball is leaving, replaced by sleek, silvery fur that shines when you surface. It feels strange, like wearing a brand new skin. Your flippers grow stronger, your chest expands, and even your teeth change. Sharp, narrow canines appear, perfect for grabbing slippery fish or squid. You find yourself testing them on anything you can, including chunks of ice, your own flippers, and occasionally a piece of seaweed that looks like it might be alive. With strength comes a new kind of trouble. The sea is not empty. You meet predators now that you can no longer hide from. One day, a shadow slides silently beneath you. At first, you think it is just a big fish, but then the shape reveals a mouthful of teeth far bigger than yours. Shark. Your heart races, and you swim upward as fast as your body can move. The shark follows, but you remember something your mother taught you. Never swim straight. You twist and turn, darting at angles, your flexible body confusing the predator. After what feels like forever, the shadow gives up. When you finally haul yourself out of the water, you are shaking but alive. You're beginning to understand that growing up is not just about eating and getting bigger. It is also about learning the rules of a very large, very wild ocean. Your first winter without your mother tests every skill you have learned. The fish that once seemed endless now vanish under thick ice. You swim for hours, searching, but your belly stays empty. Hunger makes you slow. The cold begins to bite through even your thick blubber. Your body has a plan, though it is not a comfortable one. When food disappears, your metabolism shifts. Your heartbeat slows. You move less, conserving every drop of energy. Even your thoughts seem to grow sluggish, as if the ocean is pulling you into sleep. For days you wander, weaker and weaker, until you find a crack in the ice where a faint flicker of fish darts below. You dive in your body, despite exhaustion, surges with instinct. You catch a fish, and another, then collapse on a nearby floe, half-conscious with relief. But the danger is not over. Your weakened state has drawn the attention of another predator. A polar bear's heavy paw slams onto the ice nearby, the sound like a drum. You barely have strength to move, but something ancient pushes you forward. You slide into the water seconds before a claw rakes the spot where you stood. That brush with death leaves a mark on you. The hunger fades over time as the ice breaks and the fish return, but you will never forget the feeling of your body almost giving up. Survival, you realize, is never something you can take for granted. By the time you reach adulthood, the clumsy pup has vanished. Now you are a sleek, muscled seal, your fur dappled with darker spots, your whiskers long and proud. You can hold your breath for over 20 minutes, dive hundreds of meters, and navigate the sea as if it were your second skin. Adulthood brings new priorities. Food is no longer your only concern. Now you must find a place among other seals, and that means territory. The ice floes are busy with competitors. Males bark and rear up, flippers raised like banners. Females watch, pretending not to watch. The first time you are challenged, you almost back away, but instinct roars louder than fear. You slam your chest into the other male, your teeth snapping close to his whiskered face. The fight is messy. No one dies, but there's blood, and when it is over, you are sore and exhausted. Yet you have learned that strength and persistence matter more than size. Winning territory is only the first part. Courting a mate requires more than fighting. You begin to perform in the water, leaping and twisting, making sounds that ripple through the air like strange music. These displays are your way of saying, I am strong, I am healthy. Inside, your body is changing too. Hormones surge through your blood, sharpening your focus and fueling the drive to reproduce. It is a rhythm as old as the ice itself. The sea feels different now. Where once you saw only food and danger, you now see rivals, potential partners, and a future that depends on what you do next. The season arrives when the ice cracks and the sun begins to linger longer on the horizon. The air is full of scent and sound, a wild announcement that the time for new life has come. You have fought for your place on a patch of ice, and now wait for a female to approach. Your chosen partner glides toward you. Her body is sleek, her whiskers silver. You swim in circles around each other, creating a spiral of bubbles that glitters like a ribbon. Courtship is not quick. It is a slow dance of dives and surfaces, a ritual written into your muscles long before you were born. When she finally accepts you, the act of mating is brief but significant. Inside her, fertilization begins, yet the embryo will not grow immediately. Nature delays development until conditions are right. A clever adaptation that allows seals to give birth at the same time each year, when the ice is stable and food is plentiful. Months later, as the winter softens into early spring, she will haul out onto the ice and bring new life into the world. One pup, rarely two. If you are still nearby, you watch the miracle from a distance, knowing that the cycle that carried you into life has begun again. Her care for the newborn is fierce. She guards it, feeds it with the same rich milk that once made you strong, and growls at anything that comes too close. Your role in this chapter is already complete, but in a strange way you still feel invested in the tiny bundle of fur. The future of your kind rests in these small, hungry mouths. When the season ends, you return to the open sea. The ice melts. The pups grow. Life moves on, as it always has. The years pass, and you learn to live by the rhythm of ice and tide. You know where to find fish when the water is dark, and when to haul out before a storm. You have survived predators, storms, and seasons of hunger. Looking back, your life has been a series of tests. From the first moment, when you opened your eyes on the ice, every day has been a lesson in persistence. You learn to crawl, then swim, then dive so deep that sunlight vanishes. You discovered what it means to be both hunter and hunted. As you grow older, new generations begin their own journeys. You watch pups being born and remember how small and fragile you once were. You know that most of them will not make it. Life for a seal is never easy, but those who do survive carry forward the memory of all who came before. One evening, the sun lowers over the sea, painting the ice in shades of orange and gold. You float on your back, letting the waves rock you. You close your eyes and breathe the sharp, salty air. The water beneath you hums with movement. Somewhere, young seals are taking their first awkward dives, just as you once did. You do not think about endings. In your world, there is only the next dive, the next breath, and the endless push to live. The cycle of life continues, as sure and unstoppable as the tide. And if a thought could rise from your simple, instinctive mind, it might be this. For a creature made of whiskers, flippers, and fat, you have done quite well. Somewhere below, a school of fish flashes, and you roll over and dive once again.